right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Live here on the LTL Media Channel. It's October 17, 2024, and we're going to get into a situation that has been happening up in Danvers, Massachusetts. It's been actually going on for quite a while, a couple of years, with a bunch of, and I know I'm just very early into this, so I can't swear yet, but we'll just say some punk kids that have been causing and terrorizing the neighborhoods around in and around Danvers. It's nice to see some Danvers peeps in here tonight. Roberta's in here. Maybe you can shed a little bit of light on this, Roberta, in the chat as we go along here. We got Agent O'Donnell in here. Thank you for the coverage. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So let's shed some light. I saw this story come across the wire the other day, and it just like really, it broke my heart to see what happened. Gentleman name of Chris Anderson. His nickname is Ducky. I guess he's a very beloved person up in and around the Danvers area, and he's got special needs. And these kids essentially lured him out into the woods and beat him up and actually sent him off to the hospital. And I'll pull up this article really quick. We can kind of get into it. But nice to see everybody here in the chat. And from what I saw, we're going to play through the select board meeting here tonight. And you can just like tell going through this and watching the Canton select boards and watching these select boards, how tone deaf these people are, how they just want to be in a position of power and not listen to anybody in their communities. The police chief is nowhere to be found during this meeting, doesn't answer for anything. And people are literally calling during the select board meeting and they're saying, you know, we're calling the police. We're asking them to come and help. And they say there's nothing that we can do about this. I find this ridiculous. I find it preposterous. And I hope that some of these people, these scumbag kids, get called out or get arrested for assaulting people because it's gone on for too long. But there's definitely no one's helping. Police don't want to be part of anything. And it's ridiculous. So let me just read through this from Boston 10. Emotions run high at Danvers meeting after teens allegedly attack. Man, no, not allegedly. They did attack him. They did attack him. He went to the hospital. He was sent to the hospital. So let's not say allegedly. He attacked him. And apparently no one knows. I mean, they know who the kids are, but apparently they don't know who the kids are. So it's getting annoying. But let's go here. People in Danvers, Massachusetts say they are scared to walk around the town because they say a group of teenagers is terrorizing people, and it's getting dangerous. They called the police to step up during an emotional meeting Tuesday night, which they saw people voicing their anger and frustrations over the situation. The group of teenagers reportedly hangs at the Plains Park, right near the center of town. I mean, that's a pretty easy place to spot these kids if you're the police, right? I mean, you know where they are. I mean, it's out in plain sight, right in the middle of town. So a group of teenagers reportedly hangs in Plains Park, right near the center of town. That's where the group allegedly assaulted a beloved Danvers man with developmental disabilities over the weekend. Danvers police confirmed that the man, Chris Anderson, had to be transported to Beverly Hospital to be treated for his injuries following the attack on Saturday. He's not the only alleged victim. More than dozens of Danvers residents went before the select board on Tuesday night to complain about a group riding bikes out into traffic, spitting, throwing rocks, and threatening people. They're angry that the town and police aren't doing more to stop them, especially when something is so violent happening to them in a so well-known community. Anderson got emotional last night during select board meeting when he talked about being attacked by this group of teens. He said, I was really, really afraid of them always. And in my life, I was scared to death of those kids, Anderson said. Danvers police said they are actively investigating along with the school resource officers. Yeah, sure you are. Because if you really care, the chief of police would have been there to help up and stand up for this community. And they need answers. And I want to keep an eye on this. Supposedly at the next select board meeting, the chief of police is going to be there and start answering some of these questions. But hey, we know the track record of all these things. What usually happens? Nothing gets done. And watch the tone deafness of these people on the select board. I don't know any of them. Again, this is the first time that I've looked at this select board, the first time I've heard of anything like this happening up in Danvers. And again, I wanted to shed some light on it. I guess there's going to be some fundraising campaigns. There are some ongoing fundraising campaigns for Chris. There's going to be some standouts this weekend. And I think that's great that the community is out there. They're helping Chris. They're going to stand out for their community and voice their frustration. We need more things like this. We need more things like this. But let's not wait too much longer. Let's pull up the select board. We'll get into this. Nice to see some channel moderators here. Mizzy was just actually in the studio about an hour ago. Good to see you on here. And apparently what I know, Liza, there's no video of these kids. There's no video of these kids. I don't see why not. But I'll tell you, when I heard Chris speak, it clutched my heart. You know, I want to play through this. I mean, this not only is happening in, you know, Massachusetts, and I always say this is happening in your area too. This is what your select board leaders look like. They don't give a shit. They just want to be in power and say, hey, I'm on the board. I'm on the board and everything runs through me. Everything runs through me. And then they get in and they listen to the public. They say they're going to create and create solutions for these problems. Nothing ever gets done. It keeps getting passed down the line. Come election time, these people can constantly keep getting voted in. I see this all the time where I live. It's the same people that are getting voted on these select boards, the same people. And then everybody complains. They go into their Facebook group and they just complain. This ain't getting done. Our taxes are too high. This is what's going on. Resources should go to this. We should beef up our police department. These kids are becoming a problem. Nothing gets done and the same people keep get voted in. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But let's play through this. We'll watch this select board. It's about a 40-minute video. And we'll hang out here tonight and hopefully bring some awareness to what's going on in Danvers. Thank you all for being here. Let's go.
Mike, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes.
I'm going to take my hat off for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Can I borrow your pen? Absolutely.
Before we start, can I ask who's filming, taping? What is it?
Oh, he lost his
Welcome.
earpods? Damn.
Can we have an approval of the minutes of September 17th, please?
I'll approve the minutes of September 10th, 2024.
September 17th.
17th, 2024.
Is there a second?
John?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And I abstain, I was not there. Thank you. Before we start with new public business, I had an email this afternoon from a mother of 2 children on Hunt Street.
Not
And
kids,
I
they're
did
fucking
respond
punks.
to her, and I'd like to read my response because it's also a response for the folks in the room at this moment and the community at large. Ma'am, I am troubled that a citizen needs to express their concerns about the safety of their children. The action of a group of juveniles, as reported to me, is most concerning. Trust that we, this board, will take this infraction seriously and will express to our police department to take any and all necessary steps to curtail these outlandish incidents.
Oh, and wait till what you hear what this moron says. Wait. I mean, there's some real zingers in this one. Wait till what they say on the board. It's going to outrage you. It's literally going to outrage everybody in this
Signed,
room.
Daniel Bennett, Chair of the Board of Selectmen. And with that, I'll open it up to new public business, and let's see how we can control this. We'll start on the left. Anybody want to speak against the wall? Thank you. In the back?
Excuse me.
I'll get to you in a minute. Thank you. Anyone on this side wish to speak? Please go to the microphone, introduce yourself.
Good evening, Rick Betancourt, former town meeting and resident at 13 Bowden, but also a previous business owner in downtown Danvers for 15 years. So I'm not going to talk about the unfortunate issue that happened, but I want to talk about the lack of proactiveness that I think the board and the leadership of this town clearly exhibited as a result. When when I first came to this town in '05, we had a downtown improvement committee. That committee met on a monthly basis. We had a liaison officer from the board. We also had a liaison from the Danvers Police Department. Mr. Bartha comes in, and that committee was immediately terminated within about a year. But we were able to talk on issues downtown, not just the parade of lights, or not just having the events that we would decorate our businesses downtown. It was more than that. We would convey issues, we would convey concerns. If we saw something, we were actively involved on a monthly basis, communicating with you and the Danvers Police Department. That's been gone for 12, 13 years now, 12, whatever the time is. You can look it up, 10 years. We've had nothing down there. And as a resident of Danvers and a business owner down there, I've seen firsthand the lack of leadership here. We have no more downtown improvement committee. That was killed by Mr. Bartha. The town then decides to go ahead and put a pop-up park coming out of a COVID, one of the largest economic crises we've ever seen. And friends of mine that own businesses downtown lost 27% of their business that year because of this ridiculous pop-up park. And the reason why I mentioned the pop-up park is because I'm a firm believer that was one of the things that empowered these kids to act and behave the way that they have. Because all that was ever there were kids. All that was ever there were children on those running their bikes around all over. Tracy and Chris Salvo would have to go out there and clean that up because nobody else did. The Hornets were out there. I ate lunch there every day. Well, pretty much almost every day while I was a business owner. So what we're talking about, I understand I have 2 minutes. What you are all tasked to do is find a way to not be reactive, because this is what this is. This is a reactive meeting. This is not a proactive meeting. Because, and Chris would come into my office on a regular basis when I was downtown, getting pens, swag, koozies. The kid is one of the nicest human beings of all time. And because of a lack of leadership, now we're going to be reactive and have this town meeting, this meeting, and talk about what do we do moving forward and how we're going to stop these children from getting out of control. You've missed your opportunity, and now you got to find a way to move forward and fix what's going on. Because as a resident and as a business owner down there, I see it. I'm disgusted at the way that downtown Danvers is starting to look. That's the reason why I moved my business out of Danvers, and now I'm in Middleton, a little bit more business friendly. So I really hope that this board, now moving forward, and I don't mean this in any way, shape, or form to Select Board Member Bernard or Doc or Mr. Bean, Select Board Member Bean. It was Dave Mills, Dan, Trask, and Clark. There was other things that could have been done back then, and they were not done. So I hope you guys find a way now to work much more closely with our police department to stop these kids from terrorizing. I almost hit one of them the other day. Came out right in the middle of the street, driving his bike, no big deal, could care less, came right at my F-150. I don't want to make you a hood ornament kid, but you know, these kids are not being educated to stop doing this. So I hope Danvers PD, the select board, our leadership can find a way to curtail it and stop it. Because it shouldn't have happened to that human being right there. He's one of the nicest people to ever walk the planet Earth. So I hope you guys find it in your hearts to find a way to create policies, procedures, or at least enforcement downtown to stop these kids from doing that. Thank you.
John, you wanted to speak?
Yeah, I was just curious what she wrote to you, so your response, oh, sorry.
I don't know that I have her permission to read what she
That's
wrote.
fair,
I'm sorry.
Then I'll
Okay.
abstain from that comment.
But it obviously was about
It was.
the safety of her kids
Michelle, nice to see you here.
and how she respects their behavior, not some others, pretty much. Thank you. Anyone in the sitting down wants to speak? Please, ma'am, introduce yourself.
Hello,
This
my name is
lady's
Lauren
good.
Steves. I live at 5 Hood
She's
Terrace
good.
in Danvers. To kind of tag off what he's talking about as far as community policing and being aware of everything that's going on, I live right behind the access road to 128. And I cannot tell you how many times I have looked out my kitchen window and seen a cop sitting on that hill, hidden from everyone, sitting there for hours.
Not
Why?
doing anything. Yeah.
When we have, and on top of that, these articles about what happened to Chris, the incident, it wasn't an incident. He got attacked.
Yeah. Attacked.
And I don't care if they were children. That is not okay. But the police just sitting
Wow.
there, not driving around and having eyes on things in this town is a huge problem. My tax dollars are sitting there waiting for what? Waiting for a call for an accident? I mean, I'm right at the intersection of the lights of 128. You know how many people blow the red light, go over the double yellow line, trying to get into the 2 lanes? They're not even doing traffic policing at that point. There needs to be more active community policing in this town to stop things like this that should have never happened in the first place. Thank you.
Anyone else on the right wish to speak? In the back?
These people are so tone deaf.
Matthew Aquaro, town meeting member, precinct 1. Issue I had was a little different. I watched one of these meetings a few meetings ago on September 5th. And since then, this is the first opportunity that I've had to be able to come in. After that meeting, and I watched it, I was appalled at the way that meeting was run.
Yeah.
And I spoke
question,
with other town meeting
Rosemary.
members, and I spoke with residents, both in precinct 1 and the other precincts. The fact that 3 of the board members were reprimanded in front of each other, as well as the audience and on the DCAT, is unbelievable. That should have been done previous to the meeting, in a back office, in a one-on-one, completely separate together. The fact that the chair also mentioned, quote unquote, your
Oh, no, they
mistake
won't
is
do
why
that.
you won't be the next.
Remember when they called on that? And I did a lot of lives on this. All the fighting in Brockton High. Oh, no, we can't bring the National Guard in because that's going to scare everybody. It's going to scare the community. And look, they're still having issues down there. It's still a fucking mess. No, can't do it. Won't do it. Can't militarize the school. Can't do it. Nope. Can't do it. You need to go down there and just start arresting some kids. Teach them a lesson. Where are the fucking parents? Where are the parents? This all starts at home. All this type of behavior always starts at home. So you know what? They have no direction. They have no leadership. They have no parents that are teaching them good values. Listen, I wasn't a fucking angel either, but I didn't go out and start fucking beating people and pushing people and throwing rocks at people. Yeah, we get in our neighborhood scuffles. We cause trouble in our neighborhood. But when you're out there assaulting people and sending people to the hospital, you need to be fucking arrested for that. Sorry, especially someone with special needs.
Chair at the next meeting, and then bringing up the numerous times throughout the meeting the fact that it was disrespected. The chair was disrespected by 3 of its members, and that came up numerous times, doing nothing but making the whole situation very uncomfortable for at least 3 of the members, and who knows whoever was sitting here. Okay. Any good leader knows that each one of those people should have been spoken to alone. You don't do that in front of colleagues. You don't do it in front of microphones. You don't do that in front of cameras. That's wrong. Okay. The second concern I had was the manner in which later in that meeting, the chair said, I need a monetary public donation. That's extortion. That's a bribe. Okay. You can call it what you want, but to do that tainted our name. That tainted our process. That tainted our town. That tainted every department in this town. Every employee, every resident. Okay. Business owners that have moved out because of things like that. the people that want to buy a home and come into this town, because there are things such as good schools, good businesses, good downtowns, okay? It's kind of going away. And when contractors hear that, when developers hear that, when homeowners hear that, investors hear that, they're going to think twice. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what's disrespectful. And as far as I'm concerned, the chair, Dan, starting with your own board members, you owe them an apology as well as the whole town.
Anyone else over this side wish to speak? Yes, in the back. Right now, you.
What's he talking about anyway?
My name is Kathy Carboni. I'm a new resident to Danvers. I moved here last September. And the first week I was here, a bunch of kids rode by on a bike, didn't think anything of it, popping wheelies. And they yelled out something to me that they were going to buy my house someday, which was gave me a little bit of an uneasy feeling. But now I see the same kids riding around my neighborhood, hooting and hollering. They cross traffic. They don't pay attention. And I just want to say, I don't know much about the town or the town politics, but they run amok. And it doesn't seem they're worried about anything. And it gives me an uneasy feeling because I live alone. So I just wanted to say I'm new. I don't know anything about anything, but these kids are a problem and they're not worried about repercussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone on this side? Yes, sir. I'll come back to you. Yep, you'll be next.
Hi. Good, how are you?
Hello, Al Sweeney, 3 Bridlesboro Lane here in Danvers. I'm a retired law enforcement officer of many
retired cop.
decades, and I'm fully supportive of public safety personnel, both here and across the country. I don't see any representatives here from the police department, but I've spoken with the chief.
I love that dig. I love that dig because the chief of police not there. Said had some family thing he had to go to. It was a son's baseball game or something, football game or something, from what I heard. That's more important than people getting attacked in the community. I got a family baseball game to go to. Don't want to do my job tonight. Why would I want to do that, right?
A number of times. The criminal assault the other day on a Danvers citizen is shameful and disappointing. We have an obligation and an opportunity to intervene before someone else is injured or harmed, and before what could be a group of juveniles end up with criminal records. This requires a full strategy for identifying specific individuals who seem to be well known in the area and have been captured on cameras and imposing fines or penalties that apply.
So they were
It also
captured on
requires a
camera.
cooperative and concerted effort on the part of parents, police, schools, and clergy, business community, and all of us to put a stop to it. We as a community are better than this, and it has risen to an alarming level as evidenced tonight. I hope we can work together to end these incidents now, and waiting for it to go away is not an option, and ignoring it is no longer an option. I agree with the business community, the first speaker.
Excuse
We
me.
can do it together. I've seen it done in many communities across the country that I worked with. We just need to bring everybody together and get it done instead of ignoring it. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, on the microphone. Thank you.
This is Ducky.
Welcome.
This is Chris Anderson, the guy that got attacked.
Hey, bud.
I can't.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm Chris Anderson. I've been living in been living in the Danvers for a long time. Guys, guys, I let you guys know, all you guys, I want you guys know, I was really, really afraid of them always. And I was, in my life, I was scared to death of them, those kids. I want you guys know that tore my heart.
Oh,
I'm not gonna cry. It just breaks my heart every day. And I can't sleep at night time. I'm sorry, guys. And it's hard. Can you guys do more for me, please?
Oh,
That's all I got.
Thank you.
yeah, I can't. Chris, we're here with you, buddy.
Anyone else over on this side?
We're here
Yes,
with
in
you,
the back.
buddy. He says, can you please do
Good
more
evening,
for
Melissa
me?
Gray.
Just want to go back to that. Can you please do more for me?
Chris, I'm Chris Anderson.
Let's play that again.
I've been living in been living in the Danvers for a long time. Guys, guys, I let you guys know, all you guys, all you guys know, I was really, really afraid of them always. And I was, in my life, I was scared to death of them, those kids. I want you guys know that tore my heart. I'm not gonna cry. It just breaks my heart every day. And I can't sleep at nighttime.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, guys. And it's hard. Can you guys do more for me,
Oh,
please?
Jesus
That's all
Christ.
I got.
Thank you.
Can you do more for me, please?
Anyone else over on this side? This in the back?
They don't
Good
care.
evening,
Look,
Melissa Gray, 29 Coolidge
they don't
Road.
care. It's just go ahead. Next person. Next person. Next person. That's the victim. That's the victim right there. And they just pass it along. And wait till striped shirt. Wait till you hear what he says in the end. Oh, it's gonna blow your socks off. Wait till what striped shirt says.
Late in August, I was harassed downtown for
This lady's
stopping
good too.
these children on bikes, harassing a disabled man between Western Cycle and Domino's. They were spitting at him, swearing at him, and trying to knock him over. If he had fallen, he would never have gotten up. I proceeded to speak to the boys and ask them to stop, leave him alone, don't do anything. I continued on to the rail trail as I do every day, and I was spit at, called names, rocks thrown up in my face, and I continued to walk. I called the Danvers Police Department, and they said nothing. They didn't. I asked if they could take a description and go talk to the boys. Nothing. They just said, okay, what is your name? Gave them my name. I said, are you going to try to find them? And they said no. I finished, got home, got in my car with my daughter, drove down through Woodvale and found the group on Princeton. Unfortunately, she was not able to identify all of them because I would have gone to their house. I just feel it's very disheartening that this happened to this gentleman, because maybe if it's the same group of boys, it could have been stopped if the police had gone to them. Thank you.
And the thing about this too, man, and I know this hits home with everybody, because I can guarantee you, all of us in this room, all the people that will watch this back on a replay or whatever it may be, wherever this video exists in the ether for the rest of the time that it's on YouTube, anybody that's watched this video has probably been bullied at least once in their lifetime. I was subject to a ton of bullying when I was growing up, because I was skinny, I was small, and I was pretty thin up until high school. And then I could start kind of handling myself a little bit and slapping people back in the mouth when they started with me. But I was a pretty small kid, and I had some protectors along the way, which was very lucky. One of them being my best friend that was murdered. He was a very huge protector. He was a bigger kid, and anybody that basically started with me, just smack him in the mouth. You know, he stuck up for me. But you know, it's nice to see the community step up now and say something about this, but this can't happen again. That guy can't defend himself. He's got special needs. They brought him out the woods, knocked him down, and left him there, assaulted him. I mean, what kind of person are you? You're a fucking punk. All right, let's keep playing on here.
Anyone else over here? Yes.
Lois McKenzie, Harbor Street, Precinct 3, town meeting member. Last year, I took the, town citizen class Academy, thank you. And at the night that we were at the police department, I asked Jamie Lovell, why can you not take these kids' bikes? He stood there and he told me, you can't do that. The laws have changed. You cannot confiscate kids' bikes and call the parents and tell them to come down.
Why not?
I said, I don't believe that's true. I had just had a long conversation with the Peabody police officer and Beverly officers. I believe, I don't remember where that was. I think it was at Endicott Park. Doesn't matter. The fact was, they both said to me, that is their plan in both those cities. So if Beverly and Peabody can do it, who is tying their hands in Danvers is what I want to know. Is it Jamie? And if it's Jamie, Jamie needs to resign.
Anyone else? Yes, you may.
My name is Kathy Carboni. I'm in Precinct 1. I live on Conant Street. And I'd like to know, is our police department fully staffed?
I don't believe they are, but I've asked the town manager.
We are as close to fully staffed as we have been in years. They are fully funded, and they acquire officers as fast as we can get them through academy.
Well, there was a hit and run in front of my house a couple of weeks ago. Took a good, I would say, at least 6 minutes for the police to arrive while somebody was laying on the
6
ground,
minutes.
which made me think, I don't even know where the police department is, but I thought that was a long time to show up. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Used to be able to see out the side of my head, but not now.
Good evening, Nicola Dresser, downtown Danvers. On multiple occasions, my 9-year-old daughter and I have been catcalled, spoken to in a vulgar manner,
9-year-old
harassed
kids.
from our doorsteps by the same kids that occupy downtown Danvers. We had a trespass.
Seems like they kind of know all the players out there. Why they're not getting round up and getting talked to or possibly arrested for assaulting people. It's beyond me. It's beyond me.
Passing incident just a few weeks ago. Upon the first call to the police, the responding officer told us nothing could be done. Only after I called the school and asked to speak to a resource officer was I made aware that that is not true and that actions could be taken against children who were looking to trespass and potentially vandalize private property. What training is being done to responding officers to address these issues as they happen and reassure the town community that these issues are being handled as quickly, professionally, and attentively as they should be? That's my question for the board and for town and for the police this evening.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep. Okay. Yep. We're okay. They're like, all right.
Please.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Ritchie. I live on 19 Beaver Park Road. Wasn't planning on speaking, but thank you. You've all inspired me. I have a son at St. Mary's in Danvers. I have a son at Kids at Play. Drive them to school every day, pick them up every day. 2 weeks ago, I was driving down the hill by the YMCA. There were 4 kids in the road. Part of my language, fucking with me, coming in and out in front of my car. And instead of swerving my car and risking hitting a tree on the side of my 2.5-year-old's car seat, I continued at the speed limit, basically playing chicken with these kids. They did not move out of the road. I eventually had to slam on my brakes. 2 cars behind me had to slam on their brakes. If I had hit these kids, the police would be there in 30 seconds.
You're welcome.
100%. If I had called the cops on these kids, the cops would have never arrived. This is messed up.
Anyone else?
Anyone else? They're like, well, yeah, anybody else want to get? Yeah, go ahead, talk. They don't care. They don't give a shit.
Brentwood Circle. So
my belief is these kids, these individuals have been known to the town for quite some time because I personally have called on them riding up and down the school street in a motorcycle in the middle of the street, no helmets on, no shoes on, popping wheelies, cutting in and out of traffic. Called the police.
You're gonna get a
Police
little
told me,
fireworks here.
yeah, they're known to us. We'll send somebody down. Right? You might not be able to take their bicycles away from them, but the motorcycle, you can take that away because I know Mike did it to me many years ago. These kids, there's no repercussions for these kids, right? And no repercussions, yeah, and the parents. But I don't blame the police department. I blame the management, right? And good luck to Lexington, because I'll be so happy to see you leave. A lot of us are. And I've had one other question to ask the town. Is there any kind of like no compete when you sign a contract for a town manager? And if there is, shame on you for not putting it in there. You gave the guy a raise, you gave him an extension, and he jumped ship. That's not the way to read employing somebody.
Amen. Anyone else, new business? Thank you for your comments. It's obvious that we have some work to do. We're going to ask.
We have some
Steve's
work
on
to
his
do.
way out. Our next meeting, he will not be here.
This fucking guy, striped shirt. I love this guy. Wait till his comment. Wait, it's coming. Wait till his comment about Ducky.
But I think we would like to hear from the chief an update on
Yeah,
what they
well,
can
where is
do
he? Oh, he's at a
better.
meeting.
Let's stay in control, please. Our next, I don't know, Mike, anything you might want to offer?
Yes, I am old school. I used to get in trouble for being old school, but I think we do have to maintain order. Public safety has to be number one. If we're not going to take care of, one person, I guess we're not taking care of any. So I do look at the police department that I used to work for, and I do expect them to do their job. At the end of August, I drafted a proposal. It's kind of a reverse community police. And when we did community policing years ago, it was about officers to get out of the car, walk around, get to know people, because we lost that when they took the walking beats away. My proposal was reverse. We asked the businesses, we asked the public, we ask every single town worker to report any incidents they see down in the center of town on High Street in that area. We build a paper trail against the perpetrators. We are all engaged. We support the police officers on the street. Today is different than when I was a police officer. You really can get in a lot of trouble pretty quickly. Whereas years ago,
Probably, Jack.
you threw out an F-bomb, you get away with it, but not anymore. So it's different, and we have to support that officer on the street, and we have to demand that the chief does his job.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, he's okay. He's at the meeting. He's there. He's got the hat on over here. He's right here. He stood up and spoke.
Paul Pollack, Precinct 4. I'm a member of FinCom and I'm a member of the Human Rights and Inclusion Committee. What I don't like is when people want to get together, accuse kids, which they have a problem. They have a problem, then come in and act sometimes just like the kids. I don't believe that we have to stand here tonight and accuse the town manager of this and accuse select board members
These
of this.
fucking people are so
To
out of
me,
touch.
It's a little bit like ganging up, and it's very easy. It's very easy.
Well, sir, isn't it like ganging up when you go out with a bunch of kids and you're terrorizing the citizens that live in that area? Sir, isn't it like ganging up when you lead a gentleman that has special needs out in the woods and attack him and leave him there, sir? And you're offended that a bunch of people came into a select board meeting and they're concerned about their neighborhood, that things aren't getting done correctly, that the police are not policing, that people that are in charge of the community are not doing their job correctly? This guy is on fucking planet Pluto, man. This is how dumb these people are. And this guy's on the inclusion and sensitivity board. Well, why don't you have some fucking inclusion and some sensitivity to the people that are crying out here in their room? A 9-year-old, that poor lady, her 9-year-old daughter was being catcalled. I love these people. They're all inbred. This is what these select boards and these community boards and all just a bunch of inbred people that run their fucking towns. And then they just walk around and tighten their belt and they do do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? That's all they use their title for. Do you know who I am? Oh, look. Unbelievable.
I happened to work with Steve Bartha for a number of years in my role. And I want to tell you something, that I've never seen someone more dedicated to this town and doing the right thing. And you may not agree with everything he does. Be quiet.
Don't look at me, Paul. It wasn't me.
I'm not looking at you.
Yeah, you're looking right at me. Don't look at me.
First of all, you're not worth looking at.
Paul, please, address this
I'm
board.
not going to sit
Look him
down.
in the eyes when you're saying.
Don't talk to me when I'm up
Excuse
here. And
me.
I expected this.
Paul, address this board.
Yes, sir.
Not the audience.
Yes, sir. I am not going to stand here and say that everything that's been done in this town has been perfect, because I know that's not true. But I'm not going to also stand here and say you can just gang up on someone. I don't believe that's the right approach. I believe that everybody has an opportunity to talk. You've been listened to.
You're right, Clarissa.
And I appreciate the same consideration. Thank you.
Fuck you. Sit down, buddy.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you look him, that poor guy, right here in the eyes and tell him that? Oh, I'm just upset that people come in the room and they're attacking the board. Oh.
Anybody else?
Look at the victim in the eyes and say
Yeah,
that.
hold on one second. You've been up twice already. Just wait. I want to make sure everybody else has spoken. If nobody else wishes to speak, now you may.
Kathy, Conant Street. That is what's wrong in this town
There you
from what
go.
I've seen.
Right there.
It's the name calling and everybody blaming everybody else.
No
These are
accountability.
just adolescents. Has anybody ever tried to approach this besides arresting them or punishing them? Have the guidance councils been told? Has anybody chatted with the parents? Maybe we could approach it in a different way and not punish these kids. Maybe they just need to be talked to. I don't know. I know they were around my house and I know they ride bikes and I know they hoot and holler and I know they do wheelies in traffic. I've seen all that, but they're kids. Maybe there's a way to get them before they go off the rails.
Folks.
All right. I don't think it's any one particular person's fault, but it seems like a big issue and I'm a little rattled by it. Thank you.
It is a big issue. Thank you all for speaking. Yes, you may.
Come this way, it's easier.
This poor. This
My
is
name
Chris's mom.
Antoinette Anderson. I live at 10 Salvatore Circle. These kids are a goddamn bunch of hoodlums. I don't care what anybody thinks. They have psychopathic children or adolescents. Normal children and adolescents
That's
do
Chris's
not
mom.
behave in that manner. I've had many encounters with them. Driving my car, having them give me the finger, yelling at me, and I am sick to death of it. And then when they go and damn near kill my son, who wouldn't hurt a flea, I have had it right up to here. and I want something done about them. And trust me when I tell you, I've already hired a lawyer,
Good for you.
and I will sue them for every damn penny they will ever make.
Look at the select board. Look at these people. No expression on their faces. No
Selectman
expression on
Bernard?
their
All right,
faces.
so thank you, everybody, for coming. Ducky.
I'm good,
we're
David.
sorry,
Thank you.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This never should have happened. Okay. We've been on a welcoming committee to make everybody feel welcome in Danvers and safe.
We've been on a welcoming committee to welcome everybody and feel safe. That's all these people care about. It's just posturing to the public. This is just to sit there and say, oh, well, we have all these things here. We don't do anything, but we have all these things. It's all for public perception. We have these boards and these inclusion meetings, and look at, we're doing things. We're talking about stuff, but there's no action. There's never any action with these people. It's all it's a fucking facade. That's all it is. So they can sit up there with their title and their little placard up there. And then when they get out to like a gathering or a meeting, oh, do you know who I am? I'm Mary Smith. I'm on the select board. That's all that is. These people don't give a shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry's not good enough. Why don't you go out and start taking these kids down and have them some consequences here? Take your fucking city back.
Everybody should feel safe and welcome in our community.
Oh, they're not feeling safe.
All right. We're very sorry. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a lawyer, but we're here to listen to what the residents have to say here in Danvers. Okay. I'd like the chief of police to come before us with a report.
Yeah, where's he?
I like what Rick Betancourt says, because I participated in the downtown committee. We've talked about this, Dan, about having that back in town. I want the police to patrol the areas like Select Board Member Bean said, walk the town. I'd like the chief of police to go in and visit the businesses and talk to the residents. These kids cannot do what they've been doing to people.
Well, they've been doing it because you ain't doing
I've seen
anything
them
about it.
myself, not as much, but I've heard from all you residents, and I'm very sorry, Ducky. I'm very, very sorry. But we need to take control. Us as a
Wait.
board, the town manager is leaving. Okay.
Wait till
We
striped
wish him
shirt
well,
talks.
But we want a new town manager that's going to be invested in this community and the residents to continue making this community safe and
But see what they're doing? They're passing the buck. Oh, well, we're going to have a new town manager. They're not saying, hey, listen, we're on this board, but it's not our fault. It's the town manager. See? She's passing the buck. That's what you're, hey, I'm sorry. But the town manager, chief of police, we're on the board, but see what I'm getting at here?
welcoming. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody want to speak over here? Where'd you go?
Here comes striped
You
shirt.
Switch places.
11 o'clock.
I guess they got another.
And 7 right now.
7 and 11?
Nice.
Nice.
Good job. Did you get my good side?
Hi, my name is Laura Powell, and I live on 29 Ash Street here in Danvers. I have been harassed for the last 3 summers by different groups of kids. I've been sworn at, I've been pushed into the street. They tried to grab my elderly dog and drag him into traffic. And I have a 26-year-old autistic son. He's very high functioning. He's very social, and he was just walking in the square, minding his own business. And they started chasing him and screaming, "Why are you so fat?" Blah, 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 and just throwing rocks at him and doing whatever they could to make it miserable. Luckily, Adam is my son, and he is able to just keep walking la-di-da, like nothing's bothering him, So he walked away, walked all the way home, and then he tells me, I'm like, oh, we should probably call the police. He goes, don't bother. They're not going to do anything. And I said, well, why do you think that? And he says, remember when I was in high school and kids were complaining about me, thinking I was, these girls think I'm stalking them and all this. And he said, they did plenty to me, you know, because I have special needs, but you know, these other kids, they just get away with everything. Not that what totally he was saying made sense, but he doesn't have a lot of faith himself, you know, in the town, which is a shame. So I guess that's all I have to say about that. But the first time I was harassed a couple of years ago, I did call the police and they said, oh, there's nothing we can do. They're young kids.
Nothing we can
They're
do.
just kids. Well, these kids also, I heard, threw a brick through somebody's window this past 4th of July. And the cop said,
Unreal.
oh, that's just shenanigans or who, you know, oh, that's just kids fooling around and all this kind of stuff. So anyway,
Unreal.
that's about it. So, and they know an awful lot more for a 13-year-old than some of these kids are very sexual, very provocative. I saw them go up to an elderly lady in CVS and I won't even say what they said because this is going to be filmed. But, and then they proceeded to pull the cards out of her hand and throw them on the ground and run away laughing. So, and I spoke right up to them. I didn't care, you know. So go ahead and hit me because I'll sue you, you know. So anyway, similar to the incidents at McDonald's too last year. So,
I
that's
mean,
all.
the
I'm
track
sorry.
record.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
track record of this.
Jim?
Jim Morose, town meeting member, precinct 3. I just hope that in this report, in an investigation that we're doing, that we list all the issues that have been reported. Residents have said they've called the police and no action was taken. And so I'd like to make sure that those records are intact. And when we do the investigation, that there's a list of this has been going on for 3 years at least that I've heard these things from kids. She just mentioned the yelling into the McDonald's and yelling into other businesses and all the things. This is not, people have been warning us about this for years and trying to, you know, get some action. So what happened to Ducky wouldn't happen, but it happened because we didn't take action. And that report better be complete.
This guy's
I'm
smart.
looking for it. Thank you.
So, Chris, I know everybody
Right
calls you
here.
Ducky, but your given name is
Well, here we go. Striped shirt. Wait till wait for his comment.
Chris. And I apologize to you for what happened. I've seen you over the years riding by. You're always friendly. You always have a nice wave.
You know, the funny thing is when you come in and spam like that in the chat, that actually helps the algorithm because there's activity in the chat room. So when you do that, it actually helps. But we got rid of you. No problem. Wait till striped shirt here.
When we do the investigation.
All right, let's stay. Kids have a problem and they need
Sorry. Here we go.
for having to come out tonight. I appreciate everybody coming. There was a common thread here that we call and we get no response from the police. That's very obvious.
Yeah.
I will ask that the interim town manager ask the police chief to come before us next month. I don't know if it'll be the 7th or the next meeting.
Melanie,
to
thanks for the
talk to
$10.
us and tell us what he plans to do and how he's going to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Those kids have a problem and they need to be dealt with. But thank you all for coming tonight. Well, the chief's aware of it, and but I can't bring him before us
I
until we
agree.
meet.
Mr. Chairman.
That's a good question.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I say something?
Yes.
So there's
To suggest that the chief is not aware of or attentive to this is false. I've been in contact with him since the incident occurred. He and his officers are investigating. They are talking to suspects. They are talking to witnesses. They are working hand in hand with the district attorney. If and when charges are warranted, they will be pressed. The chief is also not unaware of all of the issues that have been raised. I haven't personally had a conversation with the chief about the impoundment of bikes, but you can impound a bike. You can take it for up to 2 weeks. There has to be a traffic violation to do so, which is often the complicating factor because you're not allowed to ride a bike on the sidewalk. So if you're in the street, there has to be an infraction that you can document in order to take the bike. What I would suggest, Mr. Chairman, what I would suggest, Mr. Chairman, is that Mr. Lovell, who would be more than happy to come before this board, but I don't want anybody to think that there is inaction between now and the next board meeting. But in order for the chief to be able to respond to some of the concerns that have been raised, he needs to be invited to this meeting, and he'd be happy to do so. As of this morning, he was talking to roll call about directed patrol. You can believe that the entire police department is acutely aware of what happened and is very concerned about what happened and will do what they can within the law to keep people safe. They will not leave
They're
the
not
law
doing
to
anything.
keep people safe. And I want
They're
to
not
be
doing
super
anything.
clear about that. We have a police department that is working around the clock to keep people safe. And Jamie Lovell will be happy to stand at that microphone and answer all the questions folks have about responses to phone calls, follow-up investigations to complaints that were filed. But I think we owe it to Mr. Lovell to give him an opportunity and come and respond to some of what has been shared.
Were they invited to this meeting?
No. Mr. Lovell is at a Boy Scout meeting tonight, leading his son's Boy Scout meeting. I have been in contact with the chief all day, and I suggested that he attend his son's Boy Scout meeting tonight. He will be happy to come before this board and answer any and all of the questions.
Yeah, right. So we give him a fucking month to conjure something up here, a bunch of bullshit to people. If I was the citizens, I would be calling for the chief to have a meeting next week. How about Monday? How about that? How about Monday? You come out and you face the public instead of letting this go another month. Because I think they said their next select board meeting was like a month from now. Yeah. Okay. Let's wait till someone else gets hurt.
Yes.
I spent an hour and a half today.
This is Ducky's mom again. I'm going to turn on the caption here.
And anytime I spoke, they kept me updated. They had assured me that I'm investigating. They took him and me on my car and we drove around to where all started. And then down behind the middle school where it ended. So they have been extremely responsive to us. And have, I said that the news has contacted me. BC called me, BC came to my damn door today. Channel 7 came to my door today. And I have no comments at all from any news on it because I don't want that to have any influence on what the police department is doing. But I was very impressed with them today, as I have been in the past.
Sorry, it's hard to hear because there's no microphone there.
Trying to do what they need to do within the scope of the law. And I also go online, look up stuff. I know that it's a hate crime against him or against development of disability. And I have
Probably. Seems like it is.
hope that these punks will be arrested and, thrown to jail or wherever they send them for a very long time. And the other thing, the industry has been dementia. So not only am I dealing with this, I'm dealing with the other as well.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
Sums it up.
Well, that
Thank
sums
you.
it up.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes,
That
you may.
sums it up.
Well, I just want to thank you for sharing your concerns. I have a mix of emotions. I'm sad and angry. And I want to express my outrage regarding the situation. And I'm sorry, Ducky. This matter have gone on too long, and it just has to stop. Our children deserve to feel safe. So do we in our neighborhood. And no one should be worried when they walk the street. That is not acceptable. We need to come together as a community to address these issues immediately. There's a difference between kids being kids and being criminals. I mean, there's a difference. We can't just say kids are kids. There's a difference between being a child and criminality, and I think we have to take it seriously. And I will
Finally, someone on the
support,
board with a brain.
Whatever this board needs to do to make that happen.
Yeah, look at him looking at the
But
colleague.
just rest assured that you are being heard.
Yeah.
You did not speak in dead ears.
Someone with a brain.
And I hope that you hold us accountable to the limit of what we can do to make sure that this
Good.
change and it doesn't happen again.
Good man right there.
So we hear you. I don't want to speak for the board. I hear you. I take this seriously, and we definitely
Elizabeth, thank you for the 25.
have to and can
Appreciate
do better.
that.
But thank you so much for bringing
This
this
is-
concern. And Chris, again, I apologize.
David, did you want to say anything?
Dee said it very well, as did my other board members. Thank you for being here and for being a mother.
Mike, you had something to offer?
I didn't know if it's possible, town manager, maybe you could answer this for me. I know we have 4 resource officers that work the schools. Is it possible, and you don't have to answer now, but could they come down the square and in the areas after school? They would know the kids. They could help identify as well as help the patrol.
You're welcome to
Maybe
do that.
calm this thing down and get a hold of the people that are doing these things.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Board members all
Okay.
set?
Yeah,
Thank you.
let's go.
Thank you all.
All right.
Board members, I'd like permission to take number 3 out of order.
This is great. This
We'll
little
move it to number
comment.
6.
Wait for this.
That's agreeable.
And I missed striped shirts comment. We're gonna go back.
Thank you.
Listen to this.
Idiots like that saying boards will be boards.
So light.
The guy with the flannel's an asshole.
I want to go back because I missed striped shirts comment right here. Let's
All
play
right,
this.
let's stay in control, please. And my apologies to
Oh, we end
Chris and
this.
his mother
You're welcome.
for having to come out tonight. I appreciate everybody coming. There was a common thread here that we call and we get no response from the police. That's very obvious. I will ask that the interim town manager ask the police chief to come before us next month. I don't know if it'll be the 7th or the next meeting, to talk to us and tell us what he plans to do and how he's going to solve this problem. Those kids have a problem and they need to be dealt with. But thank you all for coming tonight.
Miss,
Well, the chief's aware of it, but I can't bring him before us until we meet.
Mr. Chairman?
That's a good question.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I say something?
Yes.
So to suggest that the chief is not aware of or
Yeah, there's a comment that said, well, if it can happen to Ducky, it can happen to anyone. I remember the quote in there, and I must have lost the place on it. I apologize. And everybody in the crowd is like, what are you talking about? This shouldn't happen again. This shouldn't happen again. But, like I said, a issue worth raising some attention to that's going on in Danvers. I wanted to bring this out to people's attention because, it's a human interest story. And, I feel bad for that poor guy to what happened to him. But I want to make everybody aware. Let's see. Johnny's Beef and Pizza this weekend from Monday on Monday, 10/21 from 4 to 9 p.m. 10% of the proceeds will be donated directly to Chris Ducky. So it says, good morning. As some of you may know, a couple of shitbag Danvers kids lured a special needs adult into the woods and beat him up. Deplorable behavior. I'm not sure how this is going to shake out in the long run, but I do know the money may not solve this problem, but it certainly can't hurt. That being said, North Shore Beefs and Johnny's Beef and Pizza are working together to raise money for Ducky and his family. Join us for Monday and let's dine for Ducky. This group always steps up when people need it the most, and the time all is to get a delicious meal. Hope to see you there. And I guess they're pretty famous for the three-way, I guess, up there. So if you can make it out to Johnny's Beef and Pizza on Monday from 10/21 from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., again, 10% of the proceeds will get donated directly to Ducky. And I think they said they're going to have a standout in Danvers out in the city square there on Saturday. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think someone said 12 noon. So if you can make it, go out there and support Chris. And I'll keep my eye on this. I want to keep an eye on this select board and see what's going on and just keep this out in the public. Let's see. Tomorrow night is the Karen Reed special, Dateline special. So I know that everybody will be watching that. And I haven't really made my mind up what I'm doing yet. Let's see if I find out. Yeah, I'll search around and see what I can come up with. I've never been up to Johnny's before, but everybody's saying it's awesome. But tomorrow night, 9 p.m., Karen Reed. I'm sure there's going to be lots to uncover, lots to talk about there. Let me ask you guys a question. Did you like last time when I had a couple people in the studio and we reacted to it? We couldn't play it, but we did reactions. Did you like that? Because if you like that, then I'll whip up a stream and do that for tomorrow night. You'll have to watch it on your TV, but you can watch my reaction to it. If that's something that interested you, I have no problem coming here and watching it and doing like a reaction video. But maybe I'll whip that together and do something like that. Let me know. I don't know. The kids, I don't know if they're being charged. I'm not too sure. But we'll find out. I want to keep my eyes on this. Let's see. I am possibly signing my new lease on Monday for November 1st. I'll be moving my space. So I might be back at home for a little while doing lives while I get everything fixed up in the room in the new studio. I am coming to the Halloween party. I will be there. I'm not telling you what my costume is, but I think it should be a good one. But yeah, no problem, Linda. I'm glad glad you're here. I know there's a lot of things going on right now. But anyway, I think that's going to be it. We're going to wrap this one up. Thank you all so much for the support. I appreciate it. New things to be coming soon here on the LTL campus. We'll get the studio moved downstairs to the second floor, much bigger, wider space. I'm looking forward to that. I have actually, I have a little bit of announcement. I actually have something coming up soon that I'm going to be doing with Jess Machado. So keep your eyes and ears open for that announcement coming up on soon for that. I was very excited to be asked to be part of that. And I'm looking forward to it. So, we'll see what happens. We have some projects coming up here on the LTL platform. Again, I appreciate everybody for the support this evening. I love all of you. Thank you all Ghost Squad members for being in here. We've done a lot of streaming over this past week. I'm going to head out and wrap this one up. I will see you all soon, possibly tomorrow night, if not Sunday night. I don't know. We'll come up with something. But thank you all for being here and being part of the LTL crew. I will talk to everybody later. Make sure to smash the like button. I appreciate it. And earlier, I had a live in studio with Mizzy. So if you haven't watched that, we talked Sandra Birchmore. She was live here in the studio. Go back and give that a replay. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody, I'm going to head out. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.